Hello and welcome back to what we should now probably call the Lishi channel. We've got another Lishi pick, and this one has been long awaited by myself. There are a few locks out in the field that I come across often that give me a lot of trouble, and but there's definitely a few, and Winkhaus is going to be one of them. Absolute pain in my butt. And you know, they've got the security covers, and they're very hard to pick. You can get lucky with a pick gun, but it's not often. So excuse me, a very welcome addition is a Lishi pick. So where's it from? The XR6 from Jason Hillier. That's his logo there, and you know, he did the Ingersoll one as well, which is also fantastic. People don't get along with them sometimes, and they say, "Oh, it's no good. It doesn't work." These are just made for very difficult locks to pick, like the Ingersoll. I like to explain it as nobody was picking the Ingersoll apart from a select few, to all of a sudden a lot of people were picking the Ingersoll. So that shows that it works. It's a similar situation with this, I will say. The Winkhaus is a difficult lock to pick, and I would liken it to maybe more difficult than a locks for vans, if you've ever used a Lishi for that. I think it's more difficult than that, but maybe not for others. Now, we've got a lock here mounted in this case, and I've got it mounted in the worst possible scenario that I could. So that would be a thumb turn on the left-hand side. And the reason for that being the worst way is, like with the Yale, it favors picking in one direction rather than the other. Now, this is a reverse profile of the Yale, so naturally it would like to be picking the opposite way to what the Yale favors. Now, in this situation, it wants to pick anti-clockwise, and that would lock our lock. So we are testing ourselves. We're going to test ourselves here and figure out how we're going to open this lock with this, because you pretty much cannot pick in a clockwise direction. I've seen Jason do it. I'm not sure how, because I'll show you here in a moment that the pick just does not move. So I'm going to mount this up here, and I'm going to mount it funny in the vise as well, because I want you guys to see the Lishi pick as I'm picking, and this is the best way for that. Now, it is worth noting that when we put this in the lock, and it's got the angle plate just like the Yale ones, which is great, because without that angle it's not going to work properly at all. However, we want to pick this lock anti-clockwise because that's the way it favors, and the plate is also angled that way too. So actually, when it's in the door and we put that arm out there and put tension on him, that plate is pointing down to the ground pretty much. We've got to get our head down below the Lishi pick to actually use this, which could be a bit awkward in some cases, but still nonetheless better than hand picking. So I'll take it. We'll pop it in the lock here and begin. Now, no illusion, I've picked these locks before and I know how they pick, so I'm just going to crack on here, and hopefully it'll keep the video from being mega long. So in most of these locks, from my understanding and what Jason tells me, is there's always going to be at least one zero lift pin, and to me that means a pin that you don't touch. Now, it might be trial and error for you to find that particular pin, and you might overset him a bunch of times thinking it's bound. For example, in this lock, 5 is our zero lift, and it feels right from the get-go it's like, oh, that's not, you know, if we check others, you know, it lifts up. This one does not. However, make contact with the pin and see that it's got a spring. Contact with the pin, spring, back. Contact with the pin, spring, back. That's like a set pin to me, so that'll help us now. 6 over here, contact with the pin, nothing. Click. Now, contact with the pin, spring. Contact with the pin, spring. So now we're set, and that's how we look for that. Now, there's a tapered pins in here, so we've got to balance with our tension. We're going to come back and hit the same pins over and over again here. I know for this lock, it's a balance fight between 2 and 4 to get this lock started, because you you can't really get the lock picked until you've got, here we go, back to 2, 4, and then when they both feel springy, I think I've overset 4 there. There you go. Yeah, 2, 4, 2, 2, 4, 2, 4. Okay. And now let's check for others. 6. Oh, 3 I can't get past now, so he needs to go up. Oh, lovely click. Let's check 2. Yep. 2. 1 is tight. Send him up. A nice click up at the top. 2. Okay, we've got a bit of a turn there. And 3, and there we go. So we're turned. You might want to look at the back of the lock and see that it's not going round. Now the resting position here is where the key would have left it, horizontal thumb turn on a Winkhaus. And yeah, you can see we're not getting that picked up, unfortunately. I believe with the older cylinders, it does pick it up, but the new ones, and mostly what we're going to come across is this one, and it doesn't pick it up. And that's because the blade on the pick is too short, unfortunately. By a hair, by about that much. It's just a bit too short. I'm told that it will turn a key and key cylinder, because they also need the cam picking up on a key on both sides. I'm told it works on that. Unfortunately, I did try and order a 6-pin key and key, and instead I got 2 5-pinners. Now it picks those 2, so we're not at a loss. But we need to try and get this cylinder open now. So you can take a cut down key. Jason has just done a video on how to do this as well on Facebook, if you can find that. So insert our cut down key and we'll try and catch the cam. And you'll see that it does not nudge around at all. I'm trying to come around here and push it in. I've always had problems picking up cams on the Winkhaus. Maybe it's just me. I'll try and come as close as I can without resetting the lock. No. I'm going to reset the lock there. So, what I'll do is get rid of that. I'll get a lock pick. And see that I can't just coax it around a little bit, because yeah, I can see it moving a tiny bit when you're using the lock pick, because there she goes. We can dig into the cam a little bit where a cut down key doesn't. So there we go. And we've got it. And control of the bolts. Fantastic. So that was the hardest way that could have gone. Great. Please do bear in mind this video is long, but this is one that I really wanted to cover. There is another issue, and I've done a little bit of a modification here. Let's see if I can point to it. In here, I'll add some photos in of what this looked like before I modded it, because I took pictures, I'm smart, and then what it looks like after, and the reason for it. So let's see if we can focus a bit here. There we are. I took a Magic Burr and I took off some square corners here and here. And the reason for that is this pick wasn't fitting all the way into this cylinder. And come on, focus. Reason being, this is it's like a nice square on here, right? Same for the other side. There's a step cut out there to accommodate the slot, but we're focusing on this taller part. It's a nice square, and it's a nice square slot. However, if we look through it like this, and if I can get a white background, there we go, and I'll zoom in on the video so that you can see it's not fully squared out in there. There is, on the right hand side, a curve, and the pick doesn't like that. It sits on that curve and doesn't allow it fully seat. So those little bits that I filed out, it's the key guide hole here. You can see it's ramped. If I focus, there we go. It's that little ramped part there at the tip of my fingernail. That You could perhaps file it off the lock, but that's not ideal. So I've done that to the pick anyway. If you're wondering why yours doesn't fit all the way in, you can just do that. Okay, so I do, yeah, the video's getting long, so you know, I've got other cylinders and I can pick those too with it, it's fine. But I'd like to show this. I've got here a really grotty lock. This is what I've just put from here, but you can see that I've picked it already. We're going to do it here on the video. If I can spin my vise around. So this, like I said there, I ordered from eBay in hopes to get a key and key 6-pinner, and I just didn't pay attention to what was being sold, it would seem, and got me a 5-pinner. But that's allowed me to check out whether it works or not, and sure enough it does. Surprising to me, the pick fits all the way in. Focus. I'm not going to have luck here with my focus. The pick fits all the way into this 5-pin lock. So we got that going for us. Now, what I was saying about the clockwise and anti-clockwise, if I put any tension on clockwise, this pick is jam solid. I can't move forwards and backwards at all. I can go up and down, sure. Just, well, it's a bit... You should never have problems pulling the pick back down. But I can't move. Let me come this way, and I can move. You know, place it over here, this way. Rock solid. So we're not picking it clockwise. It's going to have to be an anti-clock. Now, here we go. We've got 5 pins in here, and unfortunately, it's not just straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and ignore the 6. The spacing is a bit off, so gradually from 1 to 5, we gain a distance of about half a space. So 5 pin sits right there. You see it goes up in between. Right in the middle of 5 and 6 is where pin number 5 is. So we'll take that into account as we move through. So, okay, here we go, all the way in. Let's see what we can do. I may speed this one up because it's the exact same process. We'll just see. We'll get a look-see at how it picks, because I have completely forgotten how this lock goes. Okay, nice turn there already. 2 is way up there. So is 1. 3 is there. 4. 5. Bit of a turn there for 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. There she goes. And the cam goes around. So also, you know, I say you need to pick up the cam on a key and key. However, when we've picked up the cam, we're here now. If I back this out and turn, it still has the cam. So we don't need to continue picking up the cam. So we could plug spin this if we picked it the wrong way. So that's great. Okay. It would be great, I suppose, if there was a revision of it where the tip was longer and it does then pick up the cam as it's supposed to. As it is at the moment, it's I'll still use it because it's going to help me pick locks that I couldn't do before, and we'll get around it. It's just forgive me for saying, but not quite ready yet. It's just not long enough. If I've got a Lishi, half of the point of a Lishi for me is that it deals with thumb turns and stuff like that without me having to bother. And I've not yet got my hands on a 6-pin key and key, so I'm hoping it picks up the cam on those. If it doesn't, then we're really going to struggle. So I'll keep you posted on any updates, and thank you, Jason, for putting the effort in and making this, because I really did try and I got nowhere, so I know the work has gone into it. So well done, and get yourselves one.